In this video, I want to give some hints and tips around how you can go about attracting and retaining talent in your organisation. It's a big challenge for employers at the moment, and we're seeing this with a number of our clients across many sectors where it's really difficult to find good quality staff. One of the things that is quite popular at the moment, and is certainly something that is emerging with a lot of forward-thinking companies, is the use of videos. Quite topical given that we're obviously filming a video just now, but the purpose of videos in your kind of recruitment and attraction strategy is where you could be filming some short videos with your staff, giving a short testimonial on what it's like to work for your organisation. So that could be them, talking about the culture, the training, the support, the hours, what they like about the job, the environment and the team, etc. And you could also have some short videos just kind of showing the kind of work location, so what that looks like in terms of the kind of office or the work layout, the types of work that people might be doing. And that's something that is really, really powerful, because these videos are then something that you can then add to your website. You could be adding that to your social media campaigns. So really, when you're looking to attract people to apply for your vacancies, they've then got a choice whether to apply to your company or to another company. And if you've kind of got all that in place, demonstrating your culture and your values, then from a candidate perspective, that looks fantastic and really kind of sets you apart from the competition. So certainly encourage you to kind of look at the use of videos, and it doesn't have to be 100% polished. There's equipment that you can use, whether it's using cameras or mobile phones, or you hire a company to come and help you with it. There's different options available, but I would certainly encourage you to look at the use of videos in your kind of attraction techniques. What would also be good practice when you're then bringing someone in for an interview, send them an invitation, it would be really good and really powerful to send a copy of the video, so that it reinforces the fact that someone's applied to your organisation and why they've applied, but it just lets them kind of get a good feeling for the culture again of the organisation. And so if you're sending out that appointment via email, you could include details on how to get to the office or the workplace, give directions with a map, what public transport's like, so whether you're using bus or rail, the station, etc., where they come off if they're using their car, how to get to the physical place where the office is, what the parking's like on the day. So you might have dedicated car parking spaces, for example, so do you want to have that available for your interview candidates? I've seen other organisations where the senior management team have their own space. Again, is that something you want to have in your organisation? What does that say about the culture? Does it show that they're perhaps more important than anyone else? So if their spaces are right outside the front door, then why not have that as your visitor space? And people coming for a job interview get a really good impression about your organisation from the minute they kind of cross that kind of car park. Also important to train your managers, so again, train the managers on some legalities around, if they're involved in the hiring process, the legalities around questions that they can ask and things they cannot ask. But what's also really important in that is actually asking questions around culture and values. So you may be asking a lot of questions around the technical competence, but what about questions on whether they kind of fit into your environment, your culture? So really important as part of the training for managers is to cover all that off as part of that kind of process. Again, as part of that, you would be wanting the team to kind of be communicating with the reception desk. So when you've got a candidate coming in for an interview, really important that the reception teams know about the person coming in. So again, it gives a really good impression. When they do arrive, perhaps not just give them a name badge saying visitor, make them feel part of the team, so with their name on it. So again, it's making them feel really valued at that very early stage in the process. If you've got other people kind of in the office, it might be worthwhile sending out a global email that day just to let other people in the teams know that such and such is coming in for an interview. So when they are sitting at reception and perhaps feeling a bit nervous, any of your colleagues who are perhaps on a break, going to the toilet, grabbing a coffee, can kind of say hello and just kind of make them feel welcome. So again, it just really creates a really positive culture and environment from the very beginning of the process. One of the other factors affecting companies nowadays is the internet and the use of third-party review sites. So as probably you do when you book your holiday or go out for a meal. You perhaps maybe check TripAdvisor or other sites just to kind of look at people's reviews. Candidates now do that about the workplace, so it's really important that you do have a kind of positive culture and create a good working environment, because candidates are checking you out before they decide to apply to your organisation. So companies such as Glassdoor and Indeed have reviews, and current employees and ex-employees will leave reviews on various things around the organisation. So that's why it's important to try and create that positive culture. So from a candidate perspective, where there's so much choice at the minute around different jobs and different companies to apply for, if they look at you online and perhaps Google your company name, these review sites are going to come up, and sometimes come up before the job that you're advertising. So it's something to certainly bear in mind, and make sure that you are kind of creating a positive working environment and creating things that candidates and employees are looking for, which will cover things like flexibility, the type of work, other things around kind of training opportunities and career progression. So it's not always about salary, so communication and just the kind of culture and environment that you're trying to create. So that's something to bear in mind, because that all feeds into your kind of overall staff recruitment and retention strategy. Other things to think about, so you've kind of went through the kind of recruitment process, you've identified the candidate that you want, so you make the job offer, and what then needs to happen is to try and make that as really positive as possible between the job offer stage and the day that they start in the organisation. So that what could be good practice there is perhaps getting them in for a coffee or a chat during their kind of notice period, meet them off site somewhere, give them an update on what they might be working on, meet some of the team. What we've done recently in our team, where we brought in John recently, was send out a welcome card, which was a company branded welcome card, but had a kind of welcome message from the team. And again, a couple of clients we work with do that, and it's just a really kind of powerful message to send to a candidate and someone who's going to become your employee before they actually start with the organisation. So the next part of the process is the induction, so the kind of first day that your new recruit is joining the team. So you've sent them out the welcome card, you've kind of kept in touch with them during their notice period, then it's a kind of first day. So you want to kind of reinforce all the positive messages that you've given them throughout the recruitment process. So things that I normally do there is a slightly later start, so perhaps arriving for 10 o'clock on the first day, so that gives you some time in the morning just to deal with any issues that have maybe cropped up over the weekend, any kind of traffic delays, etc. are kind of dealt with, so your kind of new recruit isn't stuck in traffic and you're perhaps trying to rush in to kind of meet with them knowing that they're perhaps waiting in reception for you. The other thing is to is have someone in the team to kind of support that first day. So good practice is looking at a kind of ambassador or a mentor. So that's someone who speaks highly of the business, is someone who kind of lives up to the company values and culture, and is someone that's perhaps going to take that individual under their wing and kind of support them during the kind of first few days in the organisation. Again, I've seen organisations who have spent a lot of good time and effort, and then after the induction they've went and sat with someone who's been quite negative, and it doesn't paint a very good picture of the organisation. So again, if you're doing all these things that we've discussed, then hopefully you won't have any people like that, but it's really important just to make sure that any ambassadors and mentors are someone who is going to speak highly of the organisation. One of the things you could look to do there is actually have some mentor training, so it's giving them some hints and tips in terms of their role as a mentor, and again just kind of helps drive the culture and engagement forward in the organisation. The induction itself on the first day, whilst it's important to cover off all the kind of health and safety issues around exit points, evacuation, housekeeping, etc., it's also important to get the important message around culture and values. So spend some time looking at the job role, what they'll be doing, meet the team. So again, good practice is perhaps all go for lunch, or perhaps bring lunch in, and it's a good way just to meet some of their new colleagues in the organisation, and all of that will help and define your culture in the organisation. So hopefully you've kind of found this useful around how to attract and retain some talent in your business. We've got lots of more other content within the website, and if you need more information then just reach out to myself or one of the team.